Downtown. My name is Courtney Wood. I'm the Economic Development Director for the Downtown Stockton Alliance, the 501c6 nonprofit property-based business improvement district serving downtown Stockton. This series is intended to connect our business owners, property owners, visitors, and residents with the organizations, people, and resources which impact our community. Today we are chatting with special guest Gracie Madrid. She is the Executive Director of the Mexican Heritage Center and Gallery right here in downtown Stockton. I'm really excited to talk to her today. We'll begin by having her share a little bit about herself and her role at the center. Then I'll go ahead and run through a list of questions I've outlined for her. And at the end, we will open it up for viewer questions. So if you guys are watching and you have a question for Gracie, type it in as a comment and we will get to it towards the end of the live. So welcome everyone, and welcome Gracie. Thanks so much for being our guest today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at the Mexican Heritage Center and Gallery.
Well, thank you. Nice to see you, Courtney.
Nice to see you.
As Courtney said, my name's Gracie Madrid. I'm the president of the Mexican Heritage Center. And my background, I started in Stockton Unified. I taught for Stockton Unified for about 40 years. I'm a retired principal. I started as a teacher at Van Buren School, a Southside Stockton school. From there, I went to Victory School as principal, and then from there to Kennedy School as principal. And then I was the first principal to start the very popular Magnet Skill School. And then from there, I was about 20 years at Martin Luther King Elementary School, and I retired from there about 10 or more years ago. And I spend my time now just volunteering my time at the Mexican Heritage Center. So that's a little bit of my background.
Yeah, I love it. A staple in education in our community. Yeah. Love it. So as far as the Mexican Heritage Center, so some people, they don't know necessarily what it is. Can you tell us about the center itself and the vision and mission of the organization? How did it come about?
Well, from the around 1988, I wasn't involved then, but the center was started by a group of Mexican artists, educators mainly, and they were artists, so they had a lot of work that they had to hang up someplace, and so that's when they decided that they would start an organization, and that's how the Mexican Heritage Center came about. So they were really the founders. And then other people in the community, their wives, relatives, whatever, they helped make the center what it is. They were on Main Street for a long time, and when the owner of the building they were in sold the building, they kind of were left without anywhere to go. So they were kind of homeless for about maybe 5 years. And then after that, we did find a place on Acacia Street. We were there about maybe 3 years. And that's when I came in during that time. And from there, we moved over here next to the Masonic Temple on the corner of Market Street and Sutter Street. And so that's where we've been. We just concentrate on our culture, heritage, and we have artists that hang up their exhibits, and we just concentrate on passing the culture on and the heritage to our Latino community. You know, 40% of us are Latinos in the city and county, and so it gives them a place where they can come, because we don't charge either. So it gives them a place they can come and learn, and their kids that are losing some of their culture, give them a chance to come and experience things that we have here.
That's amazing. So the address is 111 South Sutter Street. We've got it up there on the screen.
Yeah.
And in your personal opinion, like, why is the Mexican Heritage Center so important for our community?
Well, like I said, a lot of our young kids are losing their culture, and the parents get concerned. We used to make tamales, for instance, because the parents said that their kids weren't learning to make tamales. And, you know, tamales are always, you have to have tamales for Christmas. And so we used to have classes. I think I'm going to start them up again, because they used to love them. And the only thing is I got so tired of making them that I thought, oh, well, I'll stop for a while. because it's a big job to make tamales, but at the same time, it's like a celebration because families get together and make them, right before Christmas. And so that's what they use. So it's to bring back the culture. And also a lot of, not just Latinos, but a lot of other people like to hear about the Mexican culture. And so it just gives an opportunity to educate. Actually, that's what it is. The Mexican Heritage Center was a pioneer in bringing all this culture about. And I think we're the only ones in Stockton right now that does anything about it, So we do celebrate people like Cesar Chavez, his birthday, and we do it so that our young people don't forget who he was. I know when you ask young people, they think it's the boxer. I never even knew there was a boxer by the name Cesar Chavez. So, but they always say it's a boxer. See, so they're forgetting, and the schools for some reason don't teach it. So that's why we try to get the history going so that they do understand what was in their history, and it's part of their culture, their heritage.
I love
So
that, really honoring their background, honoring the culture and where people have come from, the rituals, traditions, and hearing about the tamale making. I think you should bring it back. I think that would be fun,
yeah,
especially with what
I'll
Christmas is
invite you so you
coming.
can come make tamales with us.
I'll learn how. I don't mind. That sounds fun. So speaking of kind of preserving culture and history and heritage, this summer, the Mexican Heritage Center put on a special exhibit, and that was the Spirits of Barrio del Chivo. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, how did the idea for that exhibit come about, and like what impact did you see that having on the people who came to see it?
Oh, that was really one of the great historical exhibits that we've had that had a lot of interest. We had about from 200 to 300 people come in during that month just to see this exhibit. We had people from LA come in to see it because there were people there that whose parents grew up in the area, and they used to talk to them about it and their experiences there. So when we had our exhibit, somebody called them and said, "Hey, there's an exhibit." So we had people from Fresno and LA. And of course, the Bay Area, we always get people from the Bay Area. But it's important because this was an area that in the 50s, 60s, the city was getting grants from the federal government, and they were to identify areas, the slum areas. And so this area was identified by the city as a slum area because they had no inside plumbing. Some houses were cardboard boxes where they lived, and it was just a poor area of Mexican people, and blacks lived there, and a few Chinese and a few Japanese. So when the city identified it as a slum area, they went in and just did away with it. There was a lot. I was lucky to get the official records from the city on this, and from the city council meetings that they had. Everything was there. The people that made presentations against it, uh, they were against it because they were losing their homes. I mean, they had nothing. The city would give them money, but it wouldn't buy a house, enough money to buy a new house. And then they had to move when they had lived there for years. So the people that live there are very, very, they love their area. And we had a tape for the people that lived there. As a matter of fact, two of the ladies on the tape have passed away since, so I'm glad we taped them. But they told stories and a lot of nice quotations that we have of how the people lived. It was a simple life, but a very happy life. And so we're very proud people. And so that's why we got such a good response from the area and nothing has been written about it. I looked and looked and looked for research. I was lucky to find the letters that I did because even Dolores Huerta went before the council at that time and was against, the doing away with the area. But it was done away with, and so the thing when it came to my mind, I used to when I was principal of the Martin Luther King area. That was the area. The school was built there in that area, and so I used to hear a lot about it. And the parents were always talking about, oh, when we lived here, we did this. Oh, we did that. And so I got a little group after school. A teacher wanted to do something, so I said, well, why don't you get your group and look into Barrio del Chivo and see what you can find out. So they did they did a little research. It wasn't a big research, but they got enough so that I could have enough to take and ask people questions at the city and the supervisors. But nobody seemed to know anything about it or have any records. So this one lady, like I said, I took a pamphlet to her, something, and she said, well, let me see. This kind of gives me an idea of where else to look. And that's who found all the letters and that. So that really was the history of it, you know. We enlarged them so that people could read them. And I even called the NAACP and I said, see, here's a letter from you that was enlarged from 1950s. I said, see, of course, their name wasn't NAACP. They called them something else. But anyway, they said, oh, you know, they were not in favor. They were in favor of helping the people get over it. And the people there wanted to do their own fixing up. I don't know if they could have, because, you know, it would have taken money. And I don't know if the city was going to do that. But anyway, that's the story of Barrio del Chivo. And Barrio del Chivo is, in English, is Goat Valley. And the story there is that because everybody raised goats in the area, and that's why they got the name Barrio del Chivo, Goat Valley.
Wow. That's amazing. What an amazing story. And that you were able to kind of dig up all of the information and quotes and just lives that were lived there. I love that you're able to preserve that and kind of bring it to life, something that maybe people had forgotten about or hadn't even heard about before. If anyone wasn't able to see that exhibit and they want to learn a little bit, could they come by the center?
Yeah.
Find out more?
They can always come to the center. I've become very good friends with some of the people that live there. And so they also have a lot of history. And then we did tape the people. About 10 people were taped. And we have tapes of it, and they can hear about it from them, directly from them, because they were telling stories of when they lived there, which makes it very interesting.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that you captured it. Awesome. Okay, so shifting out of the most recent exhibit, can you tell us about your art gallery more generally? Like, what other types of exhibits are usually on display? And is there any kind of criteria that an artist needs to meet in order to use your center for their artwork?
Okay, we usually we try to help the artists, so there is no charge. They have artists come to me and say, you know, I have a lot of work, I have a lot of art, but I've never exhibited anywhere. It's all in my garage. And so I encourage them to come and exhibit here. You know, I had last year or the year before, I tend to forget. But anyway, I had an 80-year-old person that had, I don't know how many pieces of art. It was wood. He would do wood. He said he started in middle school, I believe, when I don't know, the teacher would put him on the corner and he'd sit in the corner by himself in school.
Oh no.
He would do designs, and he designed all of these things. And he got older, then he started working. It was beautiful. I don't know how many pieces, but that gallery was packed with his work. I finally convinced him. I said, yeah, bring it. You know, you got to show it. And so got it out of his garage, dusted it off, whatever, and showed it. It was very good work. And I was amazed that at 80 years old, he hadn't done anything with it, you know. And so it exposes them, you know. They get to meet people, and then I had a young student also from Chico, and he came and he had never exhibited. As a matter of fact, he was nervous when he was doing it. But, you know, he sold about 3 big pieces. One of them went to a doctor's office, which he was just shocked. You know, everything shocked him because you know, they don't expect this. But anyway, we do that. We just help them out that way. And so, and some are well known. Some of our artists are well known. And if they don't have enough art for themselves, then they can get together and get 2-3 artists to do it together. And so usually I've had a month, you know, their art stays up for a month. We try to get one maybe 5 months out of the year, because we use the center for other things. I know that in April is always reserved for the high school students from Stockton Unified School District. And they're wonderful artists. I mean, all these kids, the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders bring great art over here. And they put it up, and we have a a little reception for them, and their parents come, and you should see we give them prizes. We give them money, $100 for the first prize, and it goes on down. But their parents, just to see that glow in their parents' faces, of their students and how wonderful their art is amazing. It's a nice experience for me as well as for them. And so that's always reserved for April. They always like April, the month of April. And
That's
so
beautiful.
that's what do we have for artists. We get artists from all over. They don't have to be Mexican. Whoever wants to exhibit, we exhibit, and we try to help them. Like I said, I know artists don't make much money from their art, so I don't charge them. It's all free. If they sell something, we do take 35%, and so they adjust their prices to meet that. And that's what we do for them. The other, we have like I said, we celebrate Cesar Chavez so that people won't forget him during his birthday in March. We have a big breakfast, and that's always gets full. We get about 200 people, which is what our gallery holds. And we have Sopas de Amor that we started about 2 years ago. And that's, they said, well, let's have something for February because it's Valentine's Day. So we have about 15 Mexican soups that are donated from Mexican restaurants. And so they can eat up to 15 soups that night for, I don't know how much we charge, but we don't charge very much. And different soups that you've never experienced before. And they're all delicious, of course, because we get them from the best restaurants here in Stockton. And some from Lathrop. I think a couple came from Lathrop. And let's see, then we have the Adelita Award. Now, this is an award that goes to 3 women in the community who had a hard life. Their parents might have been migrant workers, so there wasn't much money in the house, whatever. But in spite of all these things, they succeeded and graduated, went to college, graduated, and are in some profession. Last year, we gave the award to a judge here in Stockton. So we kind of reward them, and hopefully others can look at them and say, I can do that. And so that's one of the nice things that we do. Of course, the next is our big Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. We close the streets, we close Sutter and Market. We have lots of vendors, music. The big stage that the city rents out is in the middle of the street. Everybody's dancing out there. There's bands, music. It's just a very wonderful event. So if any of the audience, can make it October 28th, that's the place to be. We have lots of vendors with food, lots of food. We have a place also for kids. They can paint and they can do other activities.
Yes. Go ahead. Did you have more that you wanted to share?
There's other things, but they don't come to mind. Maybe later, I don't remember.
That was a lot that you shared. So the Sopas de Amor, that is really fun event, like trying all those soups. So yeah, if anyone hasn't been to that event when it comes up in February, definitely recommend it. And similar with the Dia de los Muertos festival, it's so fun. Like there's so much music, there's so much to see, there's so many vendors out there, and a lot of food to try. And then the Katrina contest as well. So Gracie, tell us, do you have any room left for vendors or entries into the Katrina contest?
I think the Katrina is open. It'll probably stay open. The vendors, I think we're closing it up this Friday because we've gotten so many. The vendors, the arts and crafts, whatever, they sell all kinds of things that they make, or shirts, whatever it is, that we got a lot of those vendors. And so I think that's closing up. The food probably is closing up this Friday as well. But the Katrina could stay open because, the more the merrier. And so a lot of people don't even register. They come dressed like that day. And so we take them. So
you just show up and get in line.
Save your outfit so that you can be a Katrina. We do give $100 for the winner, the best dressed. And then, no, we give $200 for first place, $100 second place, and $50 for third place. So, Courtney, you have a chance.
Those are good prizes. Sounds fun. I love to dress up, so could see me there. Never know. So for this event, tell us a little bit about Dia de los Muertos, just as a concept. Why is this so important for the Mexican community, And why do you think that this event is so special?
Well, Dia de los Muertos is really a celebration of life. The people celebrate the life of their loved ones. And so here at the center, we have about 15 community people that have come, and they have an altar, and they make the altar for their deceased loved one. Sometimes they combine it with their father, mother, and cousins or whatever. But generally, the celebration of life, they want to remember their loved ones, and so the altars contain certain things, important things. It's a very vibrant, colorful type of thing. It's and historic as well. Uh, North America and South America have always celebrated it. It roots goes back to the pre-Columbian, Mayan, and Aztec civilization. So it's been around a long, long time. I personally, when growing up, never heard of it until I got to Stockton and then started hearing about it. Now it seems like everybody's picking up a little bit of it. It's not, I always stress, it's really not Halloween. It has nothing to do with Halloween. So we try to separate it, although it's so close to Halloween, people get it confused. And it's very sacred that the altares that are very personal. The person that's doing it is doing it for their loved one. If you saw Coco, which a lot of people come and say, hey, I know about this because I saw the movie Coco. And I saw the movie Coco too. And I remember at the very end, they were allowing people to come and visit their families from heaven. And if you had a place for them to go, like an altar, and that's really it, they would allow them to come down. But the ones that didn't get to come, so because you have to have a place. So a lot of families do have little altars in their homes, and others, and so I think that's why since before September, people started calling me, telling me to reserve them a place for an altar. I didn't advertise, I didn't do anything. And by the end of September, everything was taken, every little area. There were small little areas, and people say, I'll take it. There was a stage in the coffee shop in the front, and they saw it, said, we'll take that area. So everything is taken. And I think that's why, because, they want their deceased people to, relatives to come down and visit, So on the altar, you do have water, because when they get here, they're going to be thirsty, right? You have pan de muerto, which is the bakeries do a bread, Mexican bread for that. And they come and put personal items. One time, there was a big Kentucky Fried bucket of chicken, And so I asked, I said, what's the significance? And the man doing it says, oh, my grandmother used to love Kentucky Fried Chicken. She ate it like every day. So that he had the bucket of chicken there. So it's something personal. The other thing they put a lot of items on there is the Raiders.
Oh, wow.
Love the Raiders because there's always something related to the Raiders. And of course, they put the tequila bottles there because tequila is very popular. But we don't fill it up with real tequila; it's water. Or beer, a can of beer, whatever beer they like, you put it there because after all, they're going to be visiting, so you want to give them whatever they used to like. And so that's a really short concept of what the meaning of it.
I love that. Giving them a welcome, a nice welcoming, come back down, visit us. We miss you. We miss you kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and one of the very big things is of course the blessing, and we will have the blessing of all of the altars on October 20th. We usually get a priest or some religious person to come and do the blessing and all the people that built it are here, and it's also a learning situation because I tell them about the altars and what, the significance and what it means on there. And then they actually get to see the altars and they get to speak to the people that made them and ask them questions. And, so they get a lot of feedback from them. That's where the learning takes place. And then I know that Raul Mora, I think a lot of people knew him. He was a teacher at Franklin. He passed away about a year ago. He's got a beautiful altar that his family made. And some of the students that he had at Franklin High School also helped make it. it makes it very personal, very, very nice.
What a lovely way to honor your ancestors. And how long are these altars on display?
Until the end of October. Well, actually, the Day of the Dead is actually November 1 and 2, but it always kind of falls like on Wednesday or Friday, Thursday, or other days. So the day we celebrate is the weekend before. So our big fiesta is on October 28th, right before Halloween, because we don't want to mix it up. And so they've been up all month. People are still coming in and seeing it. Now, because we had the Barrio del Chivo exhibit, we thought that the main stage could be residents of Barrio del Chivo that have passed. And so that's decorated, and that's in honor of them. So they've been bringing pictures of all the residents of Barrio del Chivo that live there and have passed. So it's a beautiful altar. Two teachers helped me put it up. So it's really, really nice.
I love that. So hopefully people can swing by and view those, before they come down towards the end of the month. Just in case people do want to swing by, what hours is the center keeping nowadays?
We keep it open according to the hours of the coffee shop, and the coffee shop opens at 7 and it closes at 2 o'clock. But if they want to come any other time, I'm here. And if the weekends are the only time they have, all they have to do is call me, and I'll come and open for them.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Thank you. Well, thanks for kind of shedding a little bit of light onto that event and the meaning behind it. And now, as far as the center itself, if anyone wants to use it for an event, not necessarily an art exhibit, but just, maybe they want to rent it out for a private event, do they have the ability to do that? And what kind of cost would be associated with that?
Yes, I don't advertise that either. People come and they see it, and it's just word of mouth. They tell somebody that wants a rather small place, because about 200 people with tables and all that really is uncomfortable. Any more than that, although the fireman has a sign that says 300 people, I told them, well, that must be standing up. They have tables. There's no way 300 will fit. But anyway, I've had 200 people there for the Cesar Chavez breakfast and other events, and it's comfortable. Anyway, yes, they just call me, and I look on the calendar and see if it's available. And they rent it for birthdays, for quinceaneras, and baptisms are big. And so those are the things mainly. And sometimes groups just have meetings here. And so, like a Wednesdays today, there's a meeting of about 25 business people that meet here. And just things like that. All they have to do is call. If it's available, it'll be rented. And then they have to give a deposit of $100 so I can reserve it. Because if people want it, I have to give it to them. So once I have the reservation, then I don't. We rent it for $850, and then I add $25 if they want us to throw away their garbage, because I have to pay for the garbage. I don't have a garbage right here. I have a car across the street to the parking lot, and that's about it.
Can they rent it for the whole day?
Well, generally they want it in the evening. So Fridays, if I'm not doing anything on Fridays, they can come and leave their stuff on Fridays. Some of them like to come and decorate in the evenings Friday, so that by Saturday it's all done. I let them do that, and then usually their functions are from 4 o'clock to about 12 o'clock. They can't go past 12.
Going home at midnight. Makes sense. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, it's a nice large space for anyone who is looking for a downtown space to host an event. You guys have a really big space, and you do have a stage if needed. So it's an awesome venue. Love that. So I know that there's another event coming up. It's Posadas y Nacimientos. Is that still on the board for this year?
I didn't hear you. What is it?
The Posadas y Nacimientos. Are you guys doing that this year? The Christmas kind of event? Yeah.
After we finish with Day of the Dead in around October, November, then we go into Christmas, and that's kind of like the altars that we do, but it's Christmas. So we have the community people also come together and they put what we call a nacimiento, which is nativity scene. And I had a lady, which I hope she's still good because she was kind of ill, but she's got a 35-year collection and she would take a whole wall from the beginning of Christ to the end. She had the whole thing. I mean, it really told a good story. We even got her to be on TV and everything. So, but she's been ill, and I'm not sure how long she can keep that up. But it was a beautiful, and others come and set up, just like they do for Day of the Dead, altars, but it's Christmas. And then we do the posadas as part of that. Now posadas, we start out we line up in front of St. Mary's Church, and we walk around to El Dorado Street and go down, stop at Maria's. And what we're doing is a reenaction of when Christ was born, Jesus was born. You know how they used to go and ask, can I have my baby here, whatever, and some denied it and some entered. So at Maria's restaurant, we stopped. We have a group that sings a song related to it outside, and one answers them inside. Most of the time they say no. So then we go to Xochimilco's restaurant. And this is just a big group of people, okay? We have guitars, they're singing along and all that. People just look at us and wonder what we're doing in the middle of downtown Stockton at night singing. But anyway, of course, we do the same thing there. A group sings inside, and they answer them outside, and they say no, no. So then from there, we walk to the Mexican Heritage Center, and guess what? That's where we say yes, yes, and welcome them in, and the party begins. They come in, and awesome. It's a celebration. We always have mariachis at our events, and that's Cesar Chavez and Edison High School mariachis are excellent, and they always really participate with us.
Beautiful. Do you have a date in mind yet for when that will take place this year?
Well, we started in December. At the last week in November is when the people start coming and putting their stuff together so that they can finish they start their nacimientos last week in December, so that by the 1st of November, and then by the 1st of December, the first week or second week, they're done. And so we kind of do the same thing as we do for the altars. Awesome. And then around the 20th is when the posadas take place. But it's the whole month they can come and view the nacimientos. It's a real nice event. There again, you have to go back and do what we used to do when we were little, which I don't think the neighborhoods around the city now do that because of everything else that's going on. But when I was growing up, we used to do it. We used to go from house to house, and the houses used to decorate outside. And so I did have experience with that. So here we try to do the same thing.
Just recreating it, continuing the culture. I love it. Yeah. It fits right in with the mission of the center.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about your coffee shop. You have, in the last couple of years, have a coffee shop in the center. It's Arte del Cafe, and it's a little bit unique, right? Tell us what makes it special in comparison to some of the other coffee shops we have downtown. We've got so many, and they're all great, but tell us what makes your guys' so different.
Well, first of all, we called it Arte del Cafe. Arte for art. So when they come and order coffee, they can go straight to the gallery and wait for their coffee to be made while they look at art or whatever we have. This came about during COVID. We had to close COVID, I think, for 2.5 years. So we decided, well, we would open up by having a coffee shop. There was one before. We were renting the space sort of, Terra Coffee. So during COVID, they decided to move out. So then, we always wanted one for the Mexican heritage anyway. But so that's when we started it. And I think what makes it unique, we're the only coffee shop in Stockton. We order Mexican coffee, and people love it. It comes from Oaxaca. I get my coffee from San Francisco. I have a good friend there who used to have a coffee shop in New York. He's traveled all over. He knows about coffee, and now he has a coffee shop in San Francisco. And I order my coffee on Wednesdays, and it's here by Friday. He doesn't even charge me shipping, so that's where I get the coffee. And I did order specifically because he knows his coffee, Mexican coffee, and the people love it. Uh, they've never tasted it, and I don't think any of the other coffee shops have drinks made out of Mexican coffee. So I think that's what makes it unique. Plus all the art and all that they see.
Yeah, you guys have some really fun drinks on the menu that you couldn't necessarily get at the other coffee shops just in Stockton. Has the nice different kind of twist. You can get Mexican hot chocolate even, which is pretty good. I recommend it.
Well, we try to be different. I
Love
mean, what's the sense of having the same thing everybody has, right?
Right. New flavors, new flavors. So, and we already talked earlier about how that's open from 7 to 2. Is it Monday through Friday?
Yeah. The coffee shop is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. But like I said, if there's something going on that people want to come after that, I'll stay and keep it open until then. But the coffee shop specifically closes at 2, mainly because people get out of work and they go home. We don't get very much business. It's kind of nobody's walking around during that time, so we just close it at 2.
All right. So we're going to kind of shift gears, and I'm just curious, is there anything that you think people might be surprised to know about the Mexican Heritage Center and Gallery? Is there anything that you think people just don't know about and would be like, oh, wow, we didn't know you guys were there. We didn't know you guys do this.
Well, I'll tell you something very specific. The members of the Mexican Heritage Center keep it painted, keep it clean, keep it open, keep it whatever. None of us get paid. We all work for nothing. I leave the house and say, I'm going to my job that doesn't pay me. And I'm here every day. I make sure it's clean. I'm sure everything's taken care of. So that's the one thing they probably don't know. They probably think I make a lot of money off of this job, but I don't. It's all service to the community. And
It's all volunteer.
all of the artists are the same. They come and help me paint, do a lot of things, and it's all free.
I love that. Community built. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. So with that, how is the gallery funded?
We have fundraisers. That's mainly fundraisers. I do use an artist that goes to the schools. We have the schools of low income schools like Martin Luther King, Spanos, and last year we got Van Buren involved because art is really not taught in the schools, so the kids don't have any experience, and it's really becoming art is now something that helps with their stress, helps them feel good about themselves, gives them confidence, and that there's a lot of research coming out that art does for kids, especially in elementary school when they're growing up. And with everything that's going on, art kind of, takes the stress off of them. And then they come up with a nice project and that they never thought they could do. And they're proud. They're proud. And so they continue the good work, and it helps them with their schoolwork as well. So those we generally write grants for those. One that gives us nice grants is the San Joaquin Foundation. Get grants from them. And then the Arts Council gives us grants. We got an art grant from the Sacramento Art Council. And so that takes care of the schools. And we used to have it here. We'd like the students to come to the center, but their parents can't bring them because, they probably have one car. The husband takes it, they're working, and, the price of gas and whatever. So then we decided we would take it to the schools. So the artist goes to the schools and about 60 kids, and once the grant is done, then we wait for another grant because I do pay the artist to do that. And we don't charge the schools. We use the paints and everything the artist buys. So I'm paying the artist to do all of that. I don't know. What else did you ask me?
Yeah,
that's
so
one thing that we do that's really, really good.
It's beautiful kind of getting in touch with kids, making them aware of art and how it can impact their lives and give them an outlet for their emotions and creativity. I love that. Yeah, I was curious, are you looking for sponsors or like how can people donate?
Yeah. Well, fundraisers like this fiesta that we're having, Day of the Dead, we do charge the sponsors, the vendors, and so we make a little bit of money there. The city charges a lot to close the street, so we have to pay a lot, big bucks for that. But we do make a little bit of money. Then we do get sponsors for that also. Business people sponsor us, our friends will sponsor us, so we get money from them. The rest is like the fundraiser, Cesar Chavez Breakfast, gives us a little bit of money, and the Sopas de Amor gives us a little bit of money. So that's how we survive. And everything I get that I want, I ask for it for free from the people that give it to me. So
You've got
hopefully
some
I don't
deals.
have to pay, give money to out. I say I'm poor, you gotta help me here. And so a lot of them do.
I love that. Some donations of services
Donation,
or items.
yeah. And then we do have membership, but donations the membership is $25, so it's not very much, but it helps. Every little bit helps. The biggest expense is really the rent, the PG&E, and the water. Those are the biggest expenses every month. So that's what we have to have every month budgeted.
So for the memberships, can anyone become a member?
Anybody can. We have membership forms out there in front where the coffee shop is. And so all they do is fill it out, $25, and that's it.
And then you're supporting, this wonderful
Yeah,
organization. I love
yeah.
it. So as the president, what do you personally want to accomplish through the center in the coming years?
Well,
What do you want to see happen?
our big goal really is to have our own place, our own building. And that's a little, every month we put a little bit of money in savings so that eventually we have millions of dollars to start our place. I don't know if it'll ever happen in my lifetime, but anyway, that's what has always been our goal, not to have to rent, but to get our own place. And it's difficult because I want a place where you see people walking by. No sense in being isolated where people have to get in the cars and go, because it's going to create a problem. So like this place is perfect. They're not selling it, but it's perfect because you have a lot of walkers and you have the windows and they can see in and all that. I'd like a place like that. Sometimes I think that buying land would be the easiest, and then building any type of building that you want. So that's really the big goal.
Hopefully, you can get more donations, more people buying at all the events, attending the events, so that you can make that happen. Hopefully in downtown too.
Yeah, yeah, and I tell you, the downtown is very expensive. I've looked at buildings, and then you have to fix the building, so that's another expense. So I don't know, like I said, if it'll happen. Sometimes that's why I sometimes wonder maybe it's better to buy a piece of land and then build rather than trying to work with the buildings already here. But if I saw a good place in that, I would certainly look into it. I haven't so far.
All right. So right now, do you have any openings on the board or any job openings, maybe in the cafe or just volunteer opportunities?
No, I just hired two new baristas, and they come with a lot of experience in making coffee. And so they already started making changes for the positive. So they're really, they're going to work out really good. Um, I don't have anything really other than just, getting the word out and becoming more known. Every year we become more and more known to people. Sometimes people pass and say, I didn't know this was here. And we've been here already 15 years. So there's always people that don't know you exist. So we're
Exactly.
trying to just get the word out and become known to everybody.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
So with the center being in downtown Stockton, what do you love about downtown and why do you think it's a good location for the center right now?
Well, the people walking around, they park their cars and they pass by here in the mornings going to work. And when they go to lunch, then they pass by here, they see them. So, they stop, say hello. And you get to know a lot of the people working at for instance, the human resource building.
That's right by you. Yeah.
Yeah, right down the street. We do get a lot of homeless even that come and say hello.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, we say goodbye quickly, but sometimes we give them water, and sometimes if we have sweets or something, we give it to them. And sometimes they're just looking for something and then they go on their way. But anyway, we bring a lot of people, I think, to downtown Stockton. Probably people that would never come here otherwise, especially for our fiesta. We get thousands of people from the Bay Area. Like I told you, for the exhibit, we even got people from LA here. And so we do, if you have an artist from Sacramento, you get people from Sacramento here. I had one from Chico. I got the Chico people here. So it brings people to downtown Stockton. And I think that's one of the goals that downtown Stockton has, right? That they want people to come downtown and get to know what's here. One year, I'm not sure if it was last year, I met up with a lady that was here for our fiesta. She was from San Jose. And the one thing that I'll always remember, she says, you know what, I almost didn't come because everybody kept telling me not to go to that place. People get killed. You have a lot of gang members all over. She said, and I'm so shocked. Everybody's happy. Everybody's dancing. Everybody's having a good time. I said, yeah, so go tell your people it's not true.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it changes the people's perceptions of what downtown Stockton is. So we bring that to it. I think that's wonderful.
It is.
I'm here late sometimes. Nobody ever bothers you, It's not a bad place, but I know some people don't come to downtown Stockton because they think it's dangerous, and that's what they hear. But it's really not, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, thank you. You guys definitely bring downtown to life, like especially with your event coming up on the 28th. Again, I just suggest to anyone who's never been, definitely come out and check out this event. There's so many people there. Like you'll just see downtown come to life. You guys really do a beautiful job with your event. So
thank you.
Thank you, Gracie. And since you're downtown, do you have a favorite lunch spot that you like to go to? Or maybe a couple?
The one right across from us, Eat at Clark's.
Yeah.
They've been having some problems. The windows got broken or something. So people really came out to support him. Oh, he makes wonderful barbecue ribs. Fridays are barbecue ribs. He's also going to be at our fiesta cooking. But that's our favorite, mainly because it's close. We just walk across the street and the food is really good. He makes good salads, potato salads and everything else. So it's very good food.
Yeah, they're really popular, and they're kind of one of our newer businesses, but they have so much community support. So that is a good one to check out. Love it. Okay, so I've just got a few more questions before we move on to audience questions. So if you are watching and you have a question for Gracie, go ahead and type it in as a comment, and we are going to get to it soon. So right now, what makes you so passionate about working for the center? Like, why do you love this work? Why do you come every day? You shared you don't get paid, you just are volunteering your time. Like, why are you so passionate about this?
Well, it's something that I think that's good for the community, especially the Latino community. As I said before, with 40% of our people, it gives them a place to go to. Some of them don't speak English, and so even for vendors, they feel free to call me and, they tell them to come in and we'll do the paperwork for them. And it makes them feel comfortable, and it's a place for them to go and get entertained when they wouldn't go other places. And so that's one of the things. And I would hate for it not to be here, because it's needed, especially with 40% of our population being Latino, So, and also the kids. Since I was a teacher and I was a principal, many of the students, I hate for them to lose their culture. They're born into their heritage, but unless their heritage is carried out through their culture, they lose it. And so to me, it's a shame if that happens. And so that's it. And then I get to meet a lot of wonderful people like you, Courtney. See, I would have never met you if I hadn't been here. And so there's a lot of wonderful people that want to visit and tell you stories, and so you learn a lot that way too.
I love it. Just preservation, making sure that culture is preserved. It's so important, passing it down to the next generation and making sure they know enough that they can pass on to their children. Like, it's beautiful. Nothing should be forgotten. That's what I think. So I love that, Gracie. So how can people get in touch with you if they have any questions? about anything that you've shared today? How can they
Well,
reach
they
out?
can always come in here. I'm always here. I don't get here that early. I'm here at 10 or 11 o'clock. I did this morning because I had to be with you, Courtney, but generally I'm not a morning person. So I'm here about 11 o'clock. They'll find me here. I do stay late. I can stay till 5, 6 o'clock. I have my meetings also at 5 o'clock. But they can always call me. You have my number, right, showing on the screen?
Yep.
And that's the way. They can email me. That's also on the screen, I believe.
Oh, we can put it up there. Yeah.
They call me, anything.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gracie, for answering all of my questions. And I hope that the community learned a lot about what the Heritage Center does, all the awesome events you're putting on, the work that you are doing and the other volunteers are doing. It's just wonderful. It's amazing. I love you guys. And Gracie, you're awesome too as a person. So thanks for answering all of my questions. At this time, I want to see if there's anyone who has an audience question. So let's see if we do. At the moment. Okay. Oh, we've got a couple of comments over here. So this one's from Philip Billingsley. This is from Facebook, and he's just giving you a lot of support. He's got a lot of emojis there, smiling faces, strong, like 100%. So you're getting a lot of love, Gracie, on social media.
Oh, good. I need it.
Thank you, Philip, for the encouraging comment. Love it. Okay, we've got another comment here from Zach Hulsey. He's saying, you've done great things for this community. Thumbs up. Thank you, Zach. Another shout out to Gracie. Good work, good work. All right, and here we have a question from Johnny Palacios on Facebook, and he's asking, who is the most famous person in the Latino community that you have met? Ooh, interesting question.
Yeah, Cesar Chavez comes to mind because
Okay.
he used to come to Stockton. He used to come to Stockton and meet with us, and we used to meet at the park and have protests there, whatever. So I remember him. Forget his name almost.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, maybe.
He's going to be here at Franklin High School, so hopefully I'll have another famous person to
add to your list.
To meet. But I can't remember very many. That's about it.
Very interesting.
Child here.
Oh no. For Cesar Chavez, when did you meet him? Like what year around?
Okay, that was way in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. How cool.
We first started getting together. I used to belong to the CSO, and Cesar Chavez started the CSOs, and I used to live in South Stockton, and there was a CSO right next to my house. So we became members and everything, and that's where Cesar Chavez used to come, and that's where we didn't have cameras, and to this day I regret not ever having taken a picture with him. But we weren't into cameras. We didn't have phones at those times, so nothing there with me and Cesar.
Oh no, no photo proof, but you've got memories.
Oh, I regret it, but oh well.
Memories count. That was a fun question. Thank you, Johnny. All right, and we've got another comment here from Zach Hulsey. So he says, thank you for being a voice for downtown. What gives you faith to repair our community? And does the Mexican Heritage Center have an Instagram page? Okay, what do you think, Gracie?
We do have an Instagram page. We also we're on Twitter and we're on Facebook. Let's see, what gives you faith to repair our community? People need something positive to come and do, They hear so many negative things about Stockton that they need a place where they can come and relax and find out, like that lady from San Jose, that the thing she hears is not true. For our event, we have lowriders, and lowriders are wonderful people. Some people see it as negative, but it's not. And you should see their decorations. Their cars are beautifully decorated. But it's just a wonderful place to be. I'm not from Stockton. Originally, I'm from New Mexico. I came here in 1968. But I'll tell you one thing. Stockton has been good to me and my husband, to my family. I don't have anything negative to say. I've been here all this time, and I've met wonderful people, had wonderful experiences.
That's beautiful. I love it. So Gracie's out here supporting downtown, supporting Stockton in general. So beautiful, beautiful response. And thank you, Zach, for your question. Okay, let's see if we've got any others. Okay. At the moment, I don't see any more. So I will take this chance to remind everyone that this video has been streaming live to our YouTube, Facebook, and to our LinkedIn, where we are at Downtown Stockton. It has also been streaming live to Twitter, where we are at Downtown STKN. And before we wrap up, I don't see any additional questions at the moment. Before we wrap up, Gracie, is there anything else that you would like to share with anyone watching this video about the
I just want people to come to our event, October 28th, or come during this month and see our altares, and October 20th, you can come and see what we do with our blessings. We have mariachi, we have music, we have a priest that's going to be doing the blessings, and we have free food. Nothing, we don't charge, so it's all free to you. So bring your family and enjoy the evening. On the 20th, October 20th, and on the 28th, we'll be outside. And the altares will be here, so you can go outside and then come inside and also view them. Just want to invite everybody to come and support us.
Yes, please do. Come on down, come to downtown, see how nice it is here, and check out the beautiful event that's going to be put on by Gracie and the Heritage Center. So I love it. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope that you learned something. I always learn something during these webinars. And thank you so much, Gracie, for your time and just for the work that you do in our community. Like, you're awesome. So thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Gracie. And with that, yeah, awesome. Thanks so much. And I'll just say, have a great day downtown.